Thanks for tuning into our seller interview series. Today we've got an e-commerce business for sale in the beauty and cosmetics niche. Created in December 2015, this business makes $6,707 per month in net profit, and the listing number for this site is 40822. Now, we do these interviews to give potential buyers more information about both the seller and the sites they're looking to purchase. We hope these insights are helpful for you in making a buying decision. We got the seller with us today to go through the business and cover everything from niche selection to traffic and monetization. Thanks for coming on, Andrew.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Before we dive into the questions here, just to give a quick summary of the business for everyone out there listening. And like I mentioned, it was built in December 2015, has a monthly revenue of $12,298 with expenses sitting at $5,591 for that total net profit of $6,707. And now that is over a 12-month average. And with the sale of this e-commerce store, there will come with obviously the domain, the host space, business name, as well as all the site content and files, an eBay store with all supporting files in a Dropbox folder, Facebook and Instagram accounts, as well as their MailChimp accounts. And you will also get the operations manual containing all the suppliers, directions, and methods for making the products, along with approximately $3,000 worth of stock. So you'll have everything you need to start making sales immediately. Now, with all that said, Andrew, can you tell us a little bit about your background in building and running online businesses? Is this kind of your first one, or have you done other businesses before?
This is my first one that I kind of actually made any money from. So I think it was when Smart Passive Income, when that site started to gain a lot of traction, I started like trying to find out these affiliate sites and try and do all these other things. I think I made 2 or 3 different websites that never really did anything, but this is the first one that kind of really took off for me.
That's awesome, man. So how did you come up with the idea for this product, without obviously giving it away or anything like that? Was it something you were into? Is it something that, you kind of did some research and you found some competition gaps you could squeeze your way through, or how did you kind of come up with it?
Yeah, exactly that. So I was at university at the time, and like I said, I've tried these few other different business ideas, and I'm at university studying business, and you kind of just in this zone, you're thinking of all these different business ideas, and it was a product that I was using, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like maybe I can try and work out how to sell this myself. I know how to put a website together. I know the graphic design, all the photography elements. I was like, oh, maybe I could like put it all together and try and make a product. And so, the site's actually been making sales since I think October 2014, but it was only like a little few here and there. And then once I left university, I decided to really put my foot down and get stuck into it.
Nice, man. Now, for someone who might not be that familiar with an e-commerce business or maybe even online businesses, maybe this is one that they're looking at as kind of their first purchase. Could you just briefly describe how this business makes its money?
Yeah, so the primary traffic driver for this business is through AdWords, Google AdWords. We do get a good amount of organic traffic. We got a bit of a following on Facebook and Instagram, but it's mostly through AdWords. And it's pretty consistent, year round, I guess. But as far as what's actually involved, it's pretty much just taking orders, putting the product together, putting it in postage bags and taking it to the post office. A little bit of customer service here and there. And that's about it, really.
Excellent. I say that's a pretty accurate description of an e-commerce business. So
pretty much.
With this being, kind of your baby in some aspects, with it being the first business that really started making a profit for you, why are you selling the business? Why not keep it and keep growing it?
I'm just ready to do something else. I think, I'm quite young. I've been doing this since, late 2014. And I think there's a lot of other things out there that, not that I'm missing out on, but just things that I want to learn, other business areas. And I feel like for me that I've got as much as I can personally from this business. So I'm ready to do something else.
That's a great time to sell then. That's one of the big moments, flags where we tell sellers, when they're preparing to sell, if you feel like you're taking this business to the max and you're just not into it anymore, it's a great time to sell it. Because then, go off and do other things, and hopefully another buyer comes and they scale it and go even beyond what you built with it, right? So.
Exactly. I'd love to see someone else grow this to the heights that I think it's really capable of. It's just not what I want to be doing at the moment.
So do you have any plans after the sale? Are you going to do some traveling? Do you already have other business ideas for the money, or what's kind of your game plan there?
Yeah, I've got another business idea. I've put an order in, waiting on some. It's kind of like a car care product, waiting on that to come in from the US. But I think there'll be a bit of traveling involved at some point in there.
Excellent. You have to come out and visit me in Southeast Asia, man.
I will.
So with the site here, when you first began the e-commerce store, what kind of was the trajectory of it? What was the first few weeks and months like?
It was modest. It was quite modest early, but I remember I was on holidays in New Zealand, and I was like, you have a lot of time to think to yourself when you're on holidays, and I was just like, man, all the revenue is coming from Google AdWords, and I was only putting $25 a day into it, and I was just like, what if I put $150 a day into it? And so after that, it just shot up, and it's been really good. I mean, the last 18 months have been outstanding. Like, obviously, November, December is exceptional, but it's good all year round, really.
That's awesome. Now, is there anything you learned from this business in particular? I'm sure you learned a ton of lessons, but is there any one thing you did that just really worked well for you that you might be applying to your future businesses?
I think I just learned that I like e-commerce. I really like the model. I like having products or importing products, making your own products. And then especially in the Australian market, because we are kind of an island, we're a little bit separate. It's a good little environment to try and introduce products to the market in.
Is there anything you tried with this business that just didn't work that maybe you're like, I really wish I hadn't done that?
Oh, yeah, I did try a little bit of ad space in magazines. I think I spent like $380 for this quarter page ad in a men's journal magazine thing. And I got like 2 hits from it. And I was just, compared to like online marketing, you don't get to see the views. You don't get to see how many clicks. I was just like, that's not how I think this should be ran.
Yeah,
at all.
That's one of the very frustrating things about traditional media. It's so much harder to measure things.
Yeah.
So what was the kind of breakdown here with your traffic? Are you paying for ads, or do you have social traffic? Is there organic traffic? What does that look like?
The traffic, yeah, it mostly comes from AdWords, Google AdWords, but on the analytics side, I will mention, because there's this like big flat bids, I'm pretty certain those were plugin conflicts on the website. So it's like, I installed a new plugin that also had an analytics thing that kind of canceled out the proper code. And because, I don't know, it's analytics, I don't really check it that often. I more check my AdWords to see how that's performing. Yeah, that's basically what that dip is.
And you already mentioned the earnings are pretty stable throughout the year, right? Obviously, the Christmas season, I'm sure there's an uptick, but outside of that, there's no real seasonality.
No, not at all. I mean, we just had Valentine's Day go by. I had a good little uptick for the last week.
Right, yeah, it's a good product for that.
It's good. There's a lot of like things you don't even think of. There's a lot of occasions that people tend to buy this product for, and you're just like, oh, okay, good little uptick this week.
Are you doing any kind of content on the site at all, like blog or anything like that, or is it just traffic directed towards the products or some kind of email funnel?
I do have a MailChimp account, so I do run kind of like a little bit of content, educational / promotion, email marketing. But outside of that, I don't have any blogs. I don't write anything really. It's all pretty product driven.
Excellent. Now, since it is an e-commerce store, you're sourcing the products yourself. Is that correct? It's not drop shipping?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
And are you shipping those products into Australia? What are the markets you're serving? So it's like Australia and New Zealand, right?
At the moment, it's just Australia. I mean, you can do international shipping, but I think it takes a little bit of time at the post office to fill out paperwork for that. So for me, I just try and keep it simple and just ship to Australia.
Now, do you already have kind of a third-party person set up? For example, if a buyer's in America or Canada and they're looking at buying this business, you already have like a third supplier set up that can handle the product and fulfill it?
No, I haven't. I don't have that.
That'd be a good one to get.
Yeah.
So right now you're having the product shipped to you, is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
And then you ship it out as the sales come in?
Yeah. Well, actually, I get like the ingredients and the stock for the product, and I put it together and then send it off after that.
Excellent. Have you ever thought about expanding it into other markets like the United States, or doing like Amazon FBA with this product at all?
I kind of have it. I mean, that's what I mean by when I say I think there's a lot of potential for extra growth. I mean, I know there's other guys in this niche that have done that. They've expanded. They've got warehouses in the UK and stuff. It's definitely a potential to do that. But I haven't done it myself, no.
Excellent. Is your product made in China, or where's your factory at?
No, it's made in Australia.
It's made in Australia. Nice.
I think almost everything is like Australian made. I mean, apart from some stickers and labeling.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Now, let's pretend that you're going to keep this business and you wanted to grow it. What would be kind of the least risky thing you'd focus on to grow the business?
To grow it, I mean, the most immediate thing you could do to make more sales from it would be to get in contact with some more barbers or other salon people who would be interested in this product. I personally haven't done it. I don't know why. I've just been focusing on the business to consumer, but there's this huge retail element that I've just completely neglected, put simply. So I think there's a lot of potential to grow that.
That's a really interesting point, and I think a lot of people who source their own products, especially when they have a full-on e-commerce store, they kind of miss the boat in some cases on doing some of these B2B kind of style sales. They just are so focused on the online thing when they could get it into, like you mentioned, salons or barbershops or whatever your product happens to fit in, right? So I think that's a very, very interesting point. Now, on the flip side here, what would you do if you were incredibly risky and you just wanted to grow this business as quickly as possible?
I think, I don't run Facebook ads, so I think there's a huge potential to try and test out how well Facebook ads go. I've put $10 in it, didn't see that much return. I've dabbled with Facebook ads before and never thought they were worth much, but man, some people get them to work. I can't get them to work. So, I mean, if somebody knows something about that, that's a good area to put your money into.
That's really fascinating because most e-commerce business owners I've talked to tend to be more Facebook ads driven, your Google AdWords driven, which is, I don't know if that's not because of the Australian market, the way it is there or what, but that's intriguing for sure.
Yeah.
So what do you think the biggest risk is for a business like this that buyers should be aware of?
I would say at this point, it's perhaps market maturity. I can't advertise this as an up and coming, could be good, could be the next big thing. It's kind of already here for sure, I think. So I think that's probably the biggest risk, would be market maturity. But in a way, that's kind of a good thing as well. It's established, it's good to go.
Definitely. So the work required to maintain this business, can you just go into what you're doing on a daily or maybe a weekly basis to currently maintain the store?
Yeah, so for me, I try and work Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I mean, obviously Monday and Friday, try and get the orders in and out before the weekend. But I wake up kind of around 9 or 10, just start to put together the products, reply to some customer emails. That's usually pretty simple stuff. It's usually where's my product? Why hasn't it arrived? And then you just send them a tracking code and that's the end of that. And then bag up the products and take them down to the post office before 5, and that's it, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Excellent. Is there any kind of skills requirements you'd suggest for a buyer to have, especially if they're not familiar with the niche?
Not really. I mean, if you've got some skills in marketing, I think this is a good product that can be marketed particularly well. But as far as putting the product together goes, it's super simple. Like I said, it comes with the operations manual. But I think that's just me kind of looking after my baby, basically. It's not difficult at all. This is something, I had my housemate look after this for me when I went to New Zealand, so it's not a difficult thing to do at all.
Excellent. Now, to move into a little bit more of the wrap-up questions here, would you be willing to sign a non-compete that says, hey, look, I'm not looking to start this business right after you buy it from me. I'm not going to go start a competing store?
Yeah, not a problem.
And how much support would you be willing to offer a buyer?
A lot. I think I said on the listing it might be 2 or 3 months, unlimited phone calls, and even graphic design. I'm happy to offer a month's worth of graphic design. If somebody wants to make some changes, they see something that they want fixed, but they'd have to pay someone else to do, I'm happy to help out with that. Like I said, I'd love to see somebody else grow this to the next level. It'd be brilliant.
Excellent. And, obviously the best case scenario here for you and for Empire Flippers is someone comes in and buys the business upfront for 100% of the list price, but would you at all be open to a split or earn out scenario? Say someone says, hey, look, I'll give you 80% up front and 20% after the training's completed or something along those lines?
Yeah, I'd be happy with that. I understand as a buyer, there's a bit of a risk. You're kind of not sure. So I've got no problem with that at all.
Excellent. Before I ask you my final question here, a hot seat question, if you will, just to give a quick summary again of the business for everyone out there listening in. The business was built in December 2015, has a monthly revenue of $12,298, with expenses sitting at $5,591 for that total net profit of $6,707. Now, that is over a 12-month average. And as I mentioned at the top, you will get all the site files, the eBay store, all the supporting files in a Dropbox folder, the Facebook, Instagram accounts, MailChimp account, as well as the operations manual containing all the suppliers, the directions and methods for making the products, and approximately $3,000 worth of stock to get started immediately upon purchase. So, with all that said, what is your best pitch in 30 seconds or less on why someone should purchase this business?
I just think it's a great little business that doesn't require much maintenance. Like I said, Monday, Wednesday, Friday for me, I work very little hours. And it does have a lot of potential for growth for people that are more, I don't know, who are willing to put a bit more time and effort and perhaps a bit more marketing specialty into it. I think there's a lot of potential to grow that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's cool. You definitely have a cool product. It's very good for targeting younger people with as well.
Yeah.
It's becoming very popular, at least in the United States. It's becoming very popular. So for people out there, if you're watching this on YouTube and you want more information about this business, the link will be below the video. That would take you to the actual marketplace listing. Now, if you're watching this on the listing page and you want more information about this business, you can become a depositor today. All you have to do is click the button, make a deposit, and you'll be given everything you need to review this business. So, Andrew, thank you so much for coming on, man. It was an absolute pleasure.
No worries. Thank you, Gregory.